lucrative athletics and academics. Eunice Public Supply, 1810 Avenue, Illinois. Another proud supporter of Lake County Athletics. Hardware is now completely remodeled with resident prices and outstanding service. Railroad Hardware, including basic Cardinal Hardware, bed and toilet accommodations that feel like home. Think of well-built materials. Cardinal Hardware, fair-faced materials, and a proud sponsor of Lake County Sports and Academics.
If you're looking for a reliable and trustworthy auto shop, check out Zia Auto Shop in Eunice. Zia Auto Shop specializes in lube and tires and accessories. They accept fleet company maintenance cards and do washing and detailing. Next time you need a dependable tire lube service for your vehicle, Zia Auto Shop has you covered. All the services you need, call 394-0298 for all your lube, tire, and accessories. That's 394-0298. Zia Auto Shop, 1800 Main Street in Eunice. Proud supporters of the Eunice Cardinals and Lady Cardinals.
Family operated since 2006. Motel is known for their hard work and dedication, big enough to meet your needs for transport, dump trucks, vacuum trucks, and disposal services. Parker Energy and our staff are huge supporters of all Lake County sports and academics. They encourage their young adults to go the extra mile, whether it's sports, grants, or just being a better home. Parker Energy Support Services, 2350 Avenue O, a proud supporter of Lake County athletics. Operated since 2006. Motel is known for their hard work and dedication, big enough to meet your needs for transport, dump trucks, vacuum trucks, and disposal services. Parker Energy and our staff are huge supporters of all Lake County sports and academics. They encourage their young adults to go the extra mile, whether it's sports, grants, or just being a better home. Parker Energy Support Services, 2350 Avenue O, a proud supporter of Lake County athletics.
If you're looking for a reliable and trustworthy auto shop, check out Zia Auto Shop in Eunice. Zia Auto Shop specializes in lube and tires and accessories. They accept fleet company maintenance cards and do washing and detailing. Next time you need a dependable tire lube service for your vehicle, Zia Auto Shop has you covered. All the services you need, call 394-0298 for all your lube, tire, and accessories. That's 394-0298. Zia Auto Shop, 1800 Main Street in Eunice. Proud supporters of the Eunice Cardinals and Lady Cardinals. Looking for a reliable and trustworthy auto shop? Check out Zia Auto Shop in Eunice. Zia Auto Shop specializes in lube and tires and accessories. They accept fleet company maintenance cards and do washing and detailing. Next time you need a dependable tire lube service for your vehicle, Zia Auto Shop has you covered. All the services you need, call 394-0298 for all your lube, tire, and accessories. That's 394-0298. Zia Auto Shop, 1800 Main Street in Eunice. Proud supporters of the Eunice Cardinals and Lady Cardinals.
Eunice Public Supply has been around for over 30 years and is excited to continue their services to the community. They take pride in their employees and their hard work and dedication, and most importantly, take pride in the youth of Lake County. Eunice Public Supply is a proud supporter of all Lake County athletics and academics. Eunice Public Supply, 1810 Avenue, Illinois. Another proud supporter of Lake County athletics. Operated since 2006. Motel is known for their hard work and dedication, big enough to meet your needs for transport, dump trucks, vacuum trucks, and disposal services. Parker Energy and our staff are huge supporters of all Lake County sports and academics. They encourage their young adults to go the extra mile, whether it's sports, grants, or just being a better home. Parker Energy Support Services, 2350 Avenue O, a proud supporter of Lake County athletics.
Eunice Public Schools is proud to be Eunice Cardinals, the Eunice community, and the staff of Eunice Schools. Eunice Public Schools has anchored itself on the move. Are you ready?
The Eunice Clinic is proud to support the Eunice Cardinals. Go Cardinals! You're the pride of Eunice. The Eunice Health Clinic offers many of the same basic services that many local physicians provide. They specialize in well-sick care for all ages, rare women's exams, physicals, health education, lab tests, and diagnostic studies. They're proud supporters of athletic and academic events. The Eunice Health Clinic is proud to back the Cardinals. Go Cards!
Hardware is your complete override with reasonable prices and outstanding service. We are hardware all over. Visit Cardinal Hardware. Armored cord accommodations that feel like home. Think of all the materials. Cardinal Hardware. Halfway to Hotel Eunice. By the proud sponsor of groundbreaking sports and academics.
Eunice is a friendly, small atmosphere, great schools and churches, and a low cost of living. The entire community is very involved with all levels of sports and academics. The Eunice Department of Motor Vehicles no office hours from Monday to Thursday, 7:30 a.m. Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And Easton on Friday. Eunice, a friendly, small town with a wonderful community and amenities.
Safety very seriously. Eunice schools have continually provided a quality education for the students of Eunice, through good times and bad. The Eunice School District appreciates the Eunice community, and they're proud of their Eunice Cardinals. Eunice is on the move. Are you ready?
Eunice Pump and Supply has been around for over 30 years and is excited to continue their services to the community. They take pride in their hours and a hard-working dedication. Most importantly, take pride in the youth of their county. Eunice Pump and Supply is a proud supporter of all local athletics and academics. Eunice Pump and Supply, 1310 Avenue, Illinois, another proud supporter of local athletics. Operated since 2006. Tatum is known for their hard work and dedication, big enough to meet your needs for transport, dump trucks, vacuum trucks, and disposal services. Parker Energy and our staff are huge supporters of all New County sports and academics. We encourage their young adults to go the extra mile, whether it's sports, grants, or just being a better fun. Parker Energy Support Services, 2350 Avenue, a proud supporter of New County athletics.
If you're looking for a reliable and trustworthy auto shop, check out Zia Auto Shop in Eunice. Zia Auto Shop specializes in lube and tires and accessories. They accept fleet company maintenance cards and do washing and detailing. Next time you need a dependable tire and lube service for your vehicle, Zia Auto Shop has you covered. All the services you need, call 394-0298 for all your lube, tire, and accessories. That's 394-0298. Zia Auto Shop, 1800 Main Street in Eunice. Proud supporters of the Eunice Cardinals and Lady Cardinals.
Hardware is your complete override with reasonable prices and outstanding service. We are hardware all over. Visit Cardinal Hardware. Armored cord accommodations that feel like home. Think of all the materials. Cardinal Hardware. Halfway to Hotel Eunice. By the proud sponsor of groundbreaking sports and academics.
Eunice is a friendly, small atmosphere, great schools and churches, and a low cost of living. The entire community is very involved with all levels of sports and academics. The Eunice Department of Motor Vehicles no office hours from Monday to Thursday, 7:30 a.m. Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And Easton on Friday. Eunice, a friendly, small town with a wonderful community and amenities. The Eunice Clinic is proud to support the Eunice Cardinals. Go Cardinals! You're the pride of Eunice. The Eunice Health Clinic offers many of the same basic services that many local physicians provide. They specialize in well-sick care for all ages, rare women's exams, physicals, health education, lab tests, and diagnostic studies. They're proud supporters of athletic and academic events. The Eunice Health Clinic is proud to back the Cardinals. Go Cards!
Eunice Public Schools is proud to be Eunice Cardinals, the Eunice community, and the staff of Eunice Schools. Eunice Public Schools has anchored itself as an integral part of the Eunice community and takes school safety very seriously. Eunice Schools have continually provided a quality education for the students of Eunice, through good times and bad. The Eunice School District appreciates the Eunice community, and they're proud of their Eunice Cardinals. Eunice is on the move. Are you ready?
Eunice Pump and Supply has been around for over 30 years and is excited to continue their services to the community. They take pride in their employees and their hard work and dedication, and most importantly, take pride in the youth of their county. Eunice Pump and Supply is a proud supporter of all New County athletics and academics. Eunice Pump and Supply, 1310 Avenue, Illinois, another proud supporter of New County athletics. Since 2006, Tatum is known for their hard work and dedication, big enough to meet your needs for transport, food trucks, vacuum trucks, and disposal services. Harper Energy and their staff are huge supporters of all New County sports and academics. They encourage their young adults to go the extra mile, whether it's sports, grants, or just being a better home. Harper Energy Support Services, 2350 Avenue O, a proud supporter of New County athletics.
Looking for a reliable and trustworthy auto shop? Check out Zia Auto Shop in Eunice. Zia Auto Shop specializes in lube and tires and accessories, like complete company maintenance cards and do washing and detailing. Next time you need a dependable tire and lube service for your vehicle, Zia Auto Shop has you covered. All the services you need. Call 394-0298 for all your lube, tire, and accessories. That's 394-0298. Zia Auto Shop, 1800 Main Street in Eunice. Proud supporters of the Eunice Cardinals and Lady Cardinals.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Eunice Cardinals. I'm sorry, at the Tatum Coyotes Park this afternoon, as the Cardinals are going to be taking on the Tatum Coyotes here in ladies varsity volleyball in just a few minutes. The game, we got about a minute 45 left in the boys' game, and will be probably about 10 minutes after that. So we probably got about 12, 14 minutes before the girls' game starts.
Hey, I heard myself there for a second. I don't know what happened,
I
but
can hear you too. All I did was turn this back on again, and now it's working. Well, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we've got about a little less than 2 minutes left here in the boys' JV game, and then there'll be an 8 to 10 minute pause for the girls' varsity game. So we'll be bringing you the girls' varsity game live in about 10 minutes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tatum Coyotes Arena this afternoon, as the Tatum Coyotes are taking on the Eunice Cardinals. They're hosting the Eunice Cardinals. And the Cardinals last night, the girls came back, were trailing in almost the entire game, and came back to win that game. And I think they went by 5 finally last night.
Yeah, 5 or 6. 31-36, I think. So, yeah, 5 points.
So after trailing the whole game for the boys, it was a different story. And but let's talk about the people that make these broadcasts possible.
All right, that's all right. Let me get my little sponsor list right here. Let's see, we want to thank Parker Energy, Brett and Penny Parker. They're sitting up there in the bleachers getting ready to watch Kiki Parker. Eunice Pump and Supply, Becky Nogelmeyer and staff. Eunice Health Clinic, Leanne Reeves, Elmer Romero, Nikki Blevins, Brian Henning, and all the folks down at the clinic. The City of Eunice, Eunice Public Schools, Zia Otto and the Whitmire family. Cardinal Hardware, Ashley Davis, Chris Myers, and all the gang down at Cardinal Hardware. Thank you guys for all you do. We appreciate you. And without you, we could not do what we do, which is try to bring these games right to you so that when you're not able to be here, you can watch, listen, or both, and still enjoy some Cardinal athletics.
Yeah, and we're down at ground level here today, so it's going to be a different camera angle, so we apologize. You know, every place we go to, we've got a different setup, so we never quite know where we're going to be, but we do the best job we can to bring you the best video that we can. And the judge does an excellent job of keeping the camera going for us.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation. These cameras, the way they're set up, I don't believe were intended with the purpose that we use them for, as far as moving and the angles, and they're wide lens caps on the top, and they're set up to where if you're in Tasker Arena or some big arena like that, you can get up there and get the whole court in one view and set the camera up that way. But we typically end up in these small town, small school arenas that aren't very big, and often they stick us right down on the floor, which is pretty much impossible to capture the whole court from that angle. So we
hard
find
to call it too from that angle.
So we find ourselves with kind of a locked camera position, trying to move the whole camera back and forth in order for us to be able to bring the video to you. So we apologize, and it's sometimes interesting. It would be really neat, and I'm sure financially it would just be stupid expensive, but it'd be really neat if we could somehow mount a camera with like a remote control. And I've seen that happen in some college games that I watched over the COVID times, where Araya Mendoza, that used to play here for the Lady Cardinals, was playing in Arkansas, and they had a broadcaster that was sitting right down at the bench with the broadcast, or with the scorer's table, and he had a little remote control and would just turn the camera to one half or the other half, and he just pushed a button every time and moved it back and forth to the half. And so pretty interesting little setup. But anyway, we do the best we can. We try to bring you these games so that you can partake from home or work or wherever you might be.
Yeah, we're fortunate now is that most of the state has gone teal now, but that still doesn't open us up to 100% attendance. So I know for a lot of folks maybe facing some health issues, this is a big way. Plus, grandma and grandpa, aunts and uncles can watch the game from wherever they are, literally in the world.
Yes, agreed. And like I said, it's a great deal. It's awesome. It's a good deal for everybody at home. I know even just yesterday when I left court, I was trying my best to make it to JAL before the games were getting started, and so I was checking the HobbsAmerica.com site to see if any broadcasts were started yet, and able to kind of halfway keep up with things as I was traveling that way. So it's a good deal for sure, and we're excited. We appreciate the sponsors, and I just enjoy doing this. For me personally, I've been involved in the game of basketball in some form or fashion for, almost 40 years. And so after I was elected into that judicial spot, the Supreme Court said, well, you can't coach anymore because we think that'd be too controversial with you out there and could lead to some problems. but they allow us to broadcast. They allow folks to be announcers at games and things like that. And so anyway, so this is a way for me to get out here and to be a part. I enjoy it and kind of, like you said, have a little bit of knowledge and history about Eunice and about sports there, and have a passion for the game, which sometimes in these close games like we had yesterday gets a little exciting, because I can't hardly just sit here and talk in my monotone voice. I get a little excited about it.
Turned you down last night.
That's right. That's right. So, it was an exciting game last night. I can tell you this. I've looked at all the records, looked at all the scores. Tatum is going to be the cream of the crop for girls basketball in our district this year. And, they're big, they're long, they're athletic. They've got some ball players. The coach that they've got over there now, Slover, he was gone for a couple of years after winning state here. He left for a couple of years. Now he's back. And I can tell you, when I was coaching, he and I had some wars against each other through the years. When his team was winning state, they were a class below us at that time. And now, after the reshuffling of everything that they did last year, now Eunice and Tatum are in the same district in basketball and in volleyball. And so he typically plays a man-to-man defense. He's been known to really push a full court man and just a lot of in-your-face defense. That's I knew when I was coaching, if we were playing him, we better get ready for some real pressure on the basketball. And so it's what he did. Now, I don't know if that's what he's doing now. I don't know if he's got, sometimes personnel changes, that changes your setup and your game plan. But I do know this. I know that they beat Hagerman really badly. And my understanding is that they beat Loving fairly badly. And so you've got us and them is from what I understand, are the last two undefeated teams in our district. And so this could be very, very important in the long run, because if Eunice were to win this game, then even with a loss the next time around, depending on the numbers and everything, Eunice would have a dang good chance of being named as one of those 6 that are guaranteed from the district championships to get into the state tournament.
Well, and I enjoy you broadcasting the game because you do bring the passion for basketball. My sports are football and baseball, so it's nice to have somebody with the amount of expertise that you have along here doing the broadcasts and picking up some subtleties that I don't see because I haven't been on the court side.
Yeah, and like I said, I enjoy doing it. It's a good time. With Tatum, they had a run there where I think like 5 out of 7 years they won state in volleyball, and they would make it to either the state finals or quarterfinals, semifinals, pretty much every year, and they weren't winning the big one. And they made some changes, and the next thing you know, they reeled off a couple of basketball state championships on the girls' side, and Coach Slover there was part of that group. And so, like I said, I know he's going to have his group ready. It'll be an interesting day here in Tatum, and see if our Eunice Cardinals are ready for the kind of pressure they're going to bring.
Well, and again, when we're looking out here across the court, the Cardinals are going to be at a size height disadvantage. So Garrett's going to have a good game, stay out of foul trouble, and also Ashley Castillo, when she's in there, is they bring her in frequently to sub Garrett for underneath the board. So we're going to need good games from both of those two, because they definitely got more size, and so when they get position underneath the hoop, it's going to be tough, especially on those defensive boards for the Coyotes. They're going to get a lot of boards there.
Yeah, Tatum's got some large, athletic young ladies down there, and they're definitely the bigger, longer team. But I think every game we've had so far, other teams have been the bigger, longer team. And the one thing that this group right here has that I definitely have to commend them on is they play hard and they play the entire game. And so, I think the key to this is going to be turnovers and not allowing Tatum to get in here and have second, third, fourth chances by getting offensive rebound after offensive rebound.
Yep.
If we can limit the turnovers and just control, I don't even want to say control, if we can keep them from getting third, fourth, fifth attempts at the basket on the offensive end, I think we'll be okay.
Yep. Well, the one thing that the Eunice girls bring is speed. And we've seen them, I mean, like Loving, Loving was tried to come out on last Tuesday night and meet them with the press, and by halftime, their girls were gassed because they could not run with the Cardinal girls.
Right. Like I said, once again, this Tatum group is going to be able to do that, I think.
Yep.
I think they'll be able to run with us. I mean, they've got some young ladies that are athletic, and just watching them warm up, I've never seen most of these young ladies play basketball. I say that. I've probably watched them, but I've never focused on any of them individually, and just watching them warm up, they look like they've got some skilled ball handlers and some girls that can shoot the ball, and I already knew they were long and athletic from watching them in volleyball this year, but and once again, something else that I'm watching them do as they're warming up here is they've devoted a part of the court to where they're just working on man-to-man fundamental defensive drills, sliding with the ball, hand position, body position, and every girl on the team is rotated up into that warm-up position, which leads me to believe exactly what I thought coming in, that Mr. Slover hasn't fallen off too far from his old ways. He likes that man-to-man full-court press defense, and now the pressure part of it, he'll jump in and out of just to create chaos for the other team. He'll full-court press you for 2 or 3 possessions, and then you'll get used to that, and boom, he's back in a half-court man-to-man defense, and then he'll extend it out to three-quarter court, and he just jumps around and kind of keeps you on your toes for sure.
Well, the Cardinals are going to need a good game. As you brought up the volleyball, so these Cardinal girls, a lot of these Coyote girls and Cardinal girls faced each other in volleyball, those 2 sets. And the first time the Cardinals came out on top, and the second time the Coyotes came up on top.
Yeah, it was a battle, and I don't know what it is about Tatum and Eunice. It's just always kind of been that way. Even in the years where neither team was expected to compete with the other team, they did.
All right, we're going to be come back to you in about 1 minute for the national anthem. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here. We just had a rock and roll version of the national anthem. In fact, a version I'd never heard before. And Not sure it'll be up on my list of ones to hear again, but
I couldn't help but start laughing, and I know that's got to be completely disrespectful, and I've probably never laughed in the national anthem live, but I guess that was some recorded version from a rock concert or something, and I've never heard any part of the national anthem be used as like a chorus with a drum line and a steel guitar going over in the background. I couldn't help but laugh and look around at the faces in the audience thinking the same thing.
Yeah, that was, we had a metal version of the national anthem there, so a little different, but gets the purpose apart, and, kids, they love the rock and roll, so.
Yeah.
All right, they're calling out the players here tonight. That's funny because we have a 00, and I don't have a 00 on my. That Ashlyn Slover, when Alan said, he said, you're going to call her name a lot. All right, we're about ready to get started here. And see, so we're going to have to keep track of the fouls and the scores, as the scoreboard here does not list who actually gets called for the fouls. So we're going to have to pick it up from the officials.
It does. It's just there's two different scoreboards, and they've got us sitting directly under one of them. And the one right above us has it listed. Okay. The one that we can see from where we're at does not. So it's going to be interesting trying to keep up with that. But with that said, it looks like we're getting ready to go here. They're going to have Hobbs, Caballero, Patron, Frazier, and Garrett on the floor to start for Eunice.
All right, Patron comes across. He's over to Caballero in the corner, trying to force it inside to Garrett. Patron at the top of the key comes back over to Caballero. She has it almost stolen away from her. She comes across middle to Frazier. Frazier's shot goes up, nothing. The rebound is going to be tied up. That is Frazier and Marisol on the floor there, and the ball is going to go over to the Coyotes.
Yeah, quite a scramble there. Ball got down on the floor, and there was bodies laying all over everywhere. But the ball goes over to Tatum, and here they come.
So Jimenez brings it down. She's off to West. West comes across over to Marisol. Marisol back to West. West shot is up and no good. The rebound is off to Coons, and she puts it in to get the first score of the game.
Yeah, and we talked about that coming in. We've got to keep them off the offensive glass. That was a rebound and a putback there, making it 2-0 Tatum.
And Caballero tries to go underneath, and the ball is stolen away from her. And so that's a turnover for the Cardinals, as Marisol's the West is bringing the ball down court for the Coyotes. She goes over in the corner to Jimenez. Jimenez goes across court, and that was to Marisol. Back to Jimenez. Back up to West. Top key comes inside to Coons. Coons tries to go in. She goes out to Jimenez. Jimenez's shot is up and no good. And the rebound to the Cardinals as they're double teaming. There we go. Caballero's able to bring the ball down court. She's being forced over the side. Comes into Garrett. Garrett's shot is up and no good. And the rebound goes off to Coons. So again, the Cardinals come down one shot and no results and no rebounds. So Jimenez brings her shot is up and no good, and Hobbs gets the rebound for the Cardinals, and she's caught up down, and the ball, we got to have a jump ball, and that should go over to the Cardinals. As usual, Hobbs is down there under the board fighting.
Yeah, she's not real tall either, which we don't have anybody that's very tall, but she's down there battling.
She's a toughie when she gets under those boards.
Yeah. It's now 2-0 in favor of Tatum, and Eunice will be throwing in the ball under the Tatum basket.
So the Cardinals have gone down the court 3 times, and they have 2 shots, and we just have Frazier just dribbled the ball off her toe.
Yep.
And another turnover.
Yeah, she dribbled it right off her foot. The pressure came. They were coming to trap her, but before they could even get there, the ball went right off her toe. It looked like Caballero kicking a field goal.
Yep. So the ball back in, and we have Ashlyn Slover now with the ball. She comes over, back up to West, the top of the key, comes over to Jimenez. Jimenez drives down, her shot is up and no good, and she looks like it's blocked and fouled. And it looks like that foul is going to be on number 2, Arissa Frazier. That's her first foul of the game, first team foul.
Yeah, so Tatum's going to go to the line. Jimenez will be at the line for Tatum, and she sinks the first one, making it now 3-0 here early. 5:52 remaining in the first quarter. Tatum up, and she's back to the line for another one.
And here comes her second shot, and she gets both ends of that, so it's going to be back over the Cardinals. And they do have the press on, as we were talking about, and there's definitely a foul as Ashlyn Slover just shoves Caballero out of bounds, and so it's going to be the first foul on them this game.
Yeah, it's that feeling out part where you're going to see what the officials are going to let you get away with. She got up and got physical there. They called her for the foul. It's 4-0 Tatum. Eunice with the ball.
All right. Eunice has 4 possessions so far, and they've resulted in now 3 turnovers and 2 missed shots. And we got another jump ball down at the other end as Frazier ties them up underneath the hoop.
Kendra Caballero shot down in there and was able to grab it when the much bigger player from Tatum went to put it on the floor. She tied him up right about the kneecaps.
So we've got a couple of substitutions. Jones and Rangel coming in for Caballero and for Patron. So the ball comes out there to Jimenez, and her shot, three-pointer, is up and good. It is now 7-0 in favor of the Coyotes. Jones brings the ball down court, comes over to Frazier here on the left side, or the right side for you folks, the court. She get back to Jones. Cardinals have had 5 possessions and only 2 shots so far.
Yeah, struggling offensively. Like I said at the beginning of this game, Slover's MO, or whatever he's always done, is pressure defense, and that's what they're doing to us right now.
All right, so the ball is out of bounds off of the Coyotes, back to the Cardinals. To Rangel's over on the left-hand side. She's looking. The ball, she's tied up a little bit. She's looking for help. She comes over to Hobbs. Hobbs is going to try and drive underneath. Hobbs' shot is up and no good. The rebound is off by Frazier. That is the first rebound, offensive rebound for the Cardinals. Garrett looks to go inside. She goes outside to Hobbs for the 3. Hobbs' shot is no good, and the rebound is off, and that looks like there's going to be a foul on Hobbs there.
Yeah, she was hustling good, but as she come around the corner, she kind of grabbed her arm, and so the foul will turn the ball back over to Tatum, and they'll have it under the Eunice basket. It's 7-0 at this point, 4:38 remaining in the first quarter.
And Hobbs sets down, and they have Martinez in the game now for her. So it looks like going across over to West, back over to Jimenez. Jimenez at the top, goes across to Maricel. Maricel tries to go down. She loses it. Back over to West on the left-hand side. Her shot is up and no good. Rebound is off to Rangel. And Rangel brings the ball down court. She comes over to Frazier in the corner here. Frazier looking to drive on. There's nothing there, and Frazier throws the ball up and throws away, but we get a tie up there as Garrett ties up Jimenez, and so jump ball, and we'll see.
Yeah, Jimenez came down with that rebound, but Garrett was able to think quick and reach in there and tie it up. So that ball's going to go back over to Eunice.
All right, so Martinez got the ball over on the right-hand side, and the ball is stolen away from her by Ashley Slover. Slover goes down. She drives up, but her shot is no good. The rebound is off to Sanchez, and Sanchez's shot is no good, and the ball goes out of bounds off of one of the Coyote players, so it's going to be Cardinals' ball. Cardinals only taken 4 shots on the basket so far tonight.
Yeah, and 3:46 remaining here in the quarter, 7-0. Jones is going to be bringing the ball up.
So not only we're not getting the boards, but we're not getting the shots. We're not even getting shots. So Jones at the top of the key. She's kind of looking for some space there to move around. She comes inside to Garrett. Garrett goes over to Caballero. On the left side, Caballero's looking to drive the baseline. She throws her ball up into nothing, but Jimenez gets the rebound there, but the ball's on the floor again. And it looks like Martinez is down there and is going to tie them up, but the arrow's going to go to the Coyotes.
Another jump ball. I think we've had about 5, maybe 6 already. That's one thing about the last few games. Have been a lot of jump balls, a lot of scrambling, rough, rolling around the ground type stuff.
Yep. All right, so Jimenez brings it across. Jimenez at the top of the key. She shoves over the West on the left-hand side. West pulls up, shoots, no good. And the rebound, so the rebound goes to Caballero, but it looks like Garrett may have been come over the back there on that.
No, they called Tatum's 1-4 over the back.
No, I mean over Garrett's back.
Yeah, gotcha. So Tatum with the over the back call, that's going to give Eunice a dead ball under under the Tatum basket. Caballero throws it into Jones, and Jones will be bringing it up.
All right, 7-0 still in favor of the Coyotes. 2:58 left here in the first. Jones is looking to drive around. She comes around the outside. Her shot is up and no good. And the rebound goes off to West for the Coyotes. Again, no offensive rebounds. So the shift comes over to Sanchez. Sanchez back to West. Goes over to Jimenez. The shot is on the side. Is no good. And the rebound to Caballero. So we're getting some defensive rebounds. We're not getting any offensive rebounds. She comes down to Martinez. Martinez's shot is up and no good. And Rangel is underneath there. But Rangel gets fouled. And that's going to by number 33, Hart.
Yeah, so Rangel in there with the bigs down low, and she's able to get that rebound, and on the putback, she's fouled by number 33 from Tatum. So Rangel will go to the line with a chance to put the first points on the board for the Lady Cardinals.
And she makes it, so 7-1 now.
Rangel with a nice stroke right there.
Yep. And here's her second shot. And that ball comes in and that. So the Cardinals are finally on the board with 2 points here with 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter. All right. Ashley Slover brings the ball down. She comes over to Hart. Hart gives it back to Slover. And it looks like Slover is fouled going up for that.
That's something that I figured out when I was coaching is Slover, the coach here, he usually has a pretty good offensive play, a press breaker is what we call it, for breaking your press, and he'll shoot layups on you if you're not careful.
And the only bad part about it is that foul was on Hobbs, and so that's her second foul already. We're not even done in the first quarter.
Yeah, it makes it 8-2 after that first free throw there by Slover, and she's back for the second one.
And that one drops in. It's off to Caballero. She's going to bring the ball down court. She's got Martinez down deep. She comes over to the side. She goes to Rangel. Rangel's being pressured. Rangel's trying to drive in. She goes outside to Hobbs. Hobbs' three-pointer is no good and over. And the rebound goes to the Coyotes. So, again, only one shot. Coming over to West. West pulls up her shot there. Two-pointer and good. 11-2 in favor of the Coyotes. So Caballero bringing the ball down court. She's trying to drive underneath. She does get underneath, and her shot is no good, and the rebound goes off to the Coyotes, but the Caballero got underneath and got it tied up. So another jump ball, and this time the arrow's going to with the Cardinals.
Yeah, so Eunice is going to get an opportunity here to run a baseline play into their own basket with Hobbs throwing it in.
Hobbs is trying to get there. She goes out deep to Caballero. To Hobbs over there, and the pass to Hobbs was too high, and she steps out of bounds trying to save it. And so the ball will go back to the Coyotes as they lead 11-2. 1:31 left here in the quarter.
Jimenez will inbound it to Slover. Slover starts the ball up past the midline.
Slover goes back over to Jimenez, comes across court to Sanchez. Sanchez's shot is up and no good. And the rebound is to West. Slover goes back over to Jimenez. Her shot is up and no good, and the rebound comes to the Cardinals. That's
Denise Rangel.
Yeah, Rangel got it again. The other thing from being down this angle, sometimes you got to have bodies clear so you can read jersey numbers. And the ball's knocked away from Rangel, but it will stay with the Cardinals, and so it'll be inbounding here over on our left, your right. All right, Jones top out there. Jones is trying to drive in. Her shot is up and no good, and she may have been blocked there.
She was
fouled.
fouled.
Yep.
Yeah, she was fouled as she was attacking the basket just inside the free throw line. Luckily, they gave it to her on the shot. I think they actually hit her about a step or two before she went up with the shot. It's now 11-2 in favor of Tatum, and Jones will go to the line to shoot 2.
And Smith's the front end of that. I'm not quite, I thought he said 12, but there's not a 12 in the game right now, so I'm not sure who picked up that foul for Coyotes, but they have 4 team fouls now, 3 team fouls for the Cardinals. So Garrett and Patron are going to come back in, and we have Martinez and Caballero setting down.
And Jones returns to the line to shoot the second shot on this set of free throws.
And she buries that one, nothing but net, 11-3. West is bringing the ball down court for Coyotes. Goes over to Jimenez. Jimenez tries to go in deep, does. The ball is knocked away by Hobbs, and then it's kicked by the Cardinals. And we got Hobbs who wrestles. Boy, what a great hustle by Hobbs to try and save that ball. I think we're going to end up with another jump ball. And it's going to be Red's ball.
Yeah, I'm not real sure. I guess they called it a jump ball. I'm not real sure. I didn't ever see them pull the tokens out of their pocket, but.
Yeah. All right, Garrett brings the ball in. The ball's on the ground, and we got another jump ball there as we got Hobbs and Garrett and Coons battling away for that inbound pass.
That time I saw them pull the tokens out of their pocket. They have tokens that they move back and forth from one pocket or the other to keep up with possession, and so 30 seconds remaining. Eunice trails 3-11.
All right, back of the West, the top of the key. She goes over to Jimenez. Jimenez comes into Coons. Coons drives, and Coons missed shot, but Coons is going to be fouled in the act of shooting.
I thought she traveled.
No.
I thought she traveled before she shot, but he's going to call a foul.
Yep.
And I guess he's saying it was on the floor before the shot.
Yep.
But I thought she traveled before. She kind of lost it when she went to take that first step. But anyway,
I have a feeling that foul may have been on Hobbs, which would make her third foul.
Yeah, so she heads out to take a seat.
Ball comes in. West's shot is up and no good. And Garrett gets out there into Patron. As we got 16 seconds, they need to bring it down court. Somebody needs to get the ball up and in. And Jones' shot is up and no good. Rebound off to the Coyotes. And they're going to bring it down. Jimenez is bringing it down court. She'll probably go all the way and shoot it up. She does. She pulls it for the 3. Misses it. And that is the end of the play in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's, that first quarter kind of looked like the last 2 games, the first quarter versus Loving and the first quarter versus Jowl last night. I mean, we just had so far our first few games, that first quarter has just not been kind to the Eunice Cardinals.
Well, and both teams have 4 fouls, so we're already in the first 8 combined team fouls in just one quarter. So that's been kind of the normal too.
Yeah.
How many fouls did we end up with last night? We had 3 Cardinals foul out and 2 of the Jowl players foul out last night.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. So, we saw some good things. I mean, at least so far, it didn't look like the pressure from Tatum's defense really hurt us, at least in the full court setting. Mm-hmm. And typically that's something they do really well. And so for us to be able to bring the ball up the floor fairly easily, I think that's a huge plus for the Cardinals. Now we've got to quit turning the ball over once we get down inside here. We've got to get some movement. Yesterday, when Jow went to that man-to-man defense, we saw where we've always got people standing at that high post area, and because of that, it creates just a cluster of people right there. And so when our guards are able to beat people off the dribble, they run into that cluster of people, and it's hard for them to get any space to get good shots. And so I really believe we've got to do something to open up that little cluster of people.
Well, we're also ice cold from shooting too. We've made 1 basket so far out of several attempts, and we've just had a lot of prayers thrown up where they had no actual, ability to make the ball fall. And that ball is knocked away from Rangel, but she kind of sees the back. And so Jimenez is bringing the ball. She's going to go down. The ball is knocked over to Marcel, and she puts it up and in. So now they've pulled back to that half court like you talked about before. So Rangel's got the ball top of the key. She brings it over to Frazier. And she's going to go over to Patron, top back up there. And now over to Caballero. Caballero pulls up. There's going to be a two-pointer, and she makes it. Her toe was just on the line.
That's a good shot there by Caballero. She's able to pull up and hit that shot in pressure. 5-13, 7 minutes to go here in the first half.
All right. Maricel has it, comes across to West. West back to Maricel, over to Jimenez. Jimenez, a three-pointer, and she misses. The rebound goes to West. Her shot is up and in.
Second and third opportunities will kill us. That's definitely still the thing that's hurting us so far this game.
Yep. All right, Caballero brings the ball down. She's being guarded by West out at the top. She tries to dribble off, almost goes off her knee there. She's looking to go inside, nothing there. She goes over to Frazier with the ball. Frazier turns around, and Frazier's driving in another jump ball as Frazier gets tied up trying to go to the hoop.
Yeah, and that, unfortunately for the Cardinals, as they reach into the pocket for the token, it's going to be the Tatum Coyote ball, and so we're going to substitute here. Jones in for Rangel. Tatum's ball. They're going to bring it up the length of the court with 6:26 remaining in the first half.
Cardinals already down by 10. And here's Maricel's shot is up and no good. Rebound is off to Garrett. Garrett gives the ball out to Patron. Patron being guarded by West, now doubled up there. Now comes over to Caballero, who comes to Jones. Jones gives her a screen. Caballero gives Jones a screen. She comes back out to Patron the top. Patron slips and gives the ball over to Caballero. Caballero looks like she wants to drive the baseline, but she's out. Then Garrett, and then back over to Patron. And Patron has the ball stolen away by Ashley Slover, and Slover's going to go down for the layup and misses it. And the rebound to Caballero. So she misses, Slover missed, and looks like Caballero stepped out of bounds.
No, they called a foul right there. The young lady from Tatum come up and bodied her up and tried to push her out of bounds. So 5:37 remaining in the first half, 15-5. Tatum leads here early.
Did you pick up who that was on?
I did not. I'm thinking Jimenez, but I don't know why I think that.
Okay. Well, we'll put it down there, and, I'll check at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so 5 team fouls. Jones at the top of the key looking for something, trying to get something going underneath here. And Martinez is back in the game too. So Martinez to Jones. Jones is all the way out to the timeline. To Garrett. Garrett's being mugged over here by Coons. Jones drives in. Her shot is up and no good. And the rebound goes over to Maricel. Maricel brings it down court. She pulls it up. Now she goes over to West as they go to set their offense. She goes to 0-0, and I don't have a 0-0. So it's going up. West pulls it up in a three-pointer, and she missed the three-pointer, and that's Frazier gets the rebound, but she was tripped, and I think that was going to be on number 2, Coons, and that'll be another foul there. So that is the 6th team foul on the Coyotes. 4:54 left, so one more, and it'll put Eunice into the bonus.
See all the people in the paint right there?
And Frazier just got knocked down underneath there. Away from the basket, and there was no call. Caballero drives in. Her shot is short and no good, and the rebound off to Maricel again. All right, Ashley Slover's bringing the ball down court. She goes over to West. Back to Slover, back to West. West is over to Coons. Coons looking for something in deep, and she goes over the other side to Maricel. Maricel's shot is up and in. And 17-5 now in favor of the Coyotes. And we got a timeout now on the for the Eunice.
Hardware is like a complete neighborhood with reasonable prices and outstanding service. When you need hardware or lumber, think of Cardinal Hardware. When you need great accommodations that feel like home, think of Oil Patch Motel in Eunice. Cardinal Hardware and Oil Patch Motel in Eunice, another proud sponsor of all Lee County sports and academics.
Eunice has a friendly small-town atmosphere, great schools and churches, and a low cost of living. Eunice has a friendly small-town atmosphere.
All right, we'll go back to that here. So what do we need to do, Judge?
You know, I think on the offensive end, just my opinion, I think we've got to somehow clear that free throw line, that high post there. We've got to get people out of there. And I understand what we're trying to do, but it's just, what do they say, the definition of insanity or whatever is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Yeah.
We're running that same play over and over and over, and Tatum's just sitting there covering everything up, and here comes that full court pressure that they're known for.
And so Frazier, she brings it into Jones, and boy, Jones almost a great play there to keep that ball alive. Now back to Jones as they've got her trapped behind the timeline. That ball comes over to Frazier. Frazier's going to drive down. Her shot is up and no good and way short. And so Coons gets the rebounds, and the Coyotes are back on the offense. So out to Slover. Slover goes sub-zero. She comes up underneath the basket. I don't know who that is, but she gets the points.
Yeah, so that makes it 19-5.
All right. Caballero's bringing the ball down court. And I don't think there's a single player on, and Caballero gets tied up by Coons, and we have another jump ball. And that looks like it's going to be Cardinals ball. A white ball. Okay, so it's going to be Coyotes ball. And Caballero comes out of the game, and Garrett comes out of the game, and they've got Rangel and Martinez back in.
And it's 19-5 here with 3:30 remaining in the first half.
All right, West brings the ball down court. She goes over 0-0, whoever that is, back to West at the top. Goes over to Marcel. Marcel back to West. West pulls up a two-pointer and makes it. So not only are the Coyotes getting the rebounds, but their shots are dropping. Okay, Patron's trying to drive in. Nothing for her there. She comes up to Rangel. Rangel back up to Patron. Patron tied up, and Patron is going to be fouled, and that foul looks like that's going to be on number 14, West. And if I'm right, that'll be her second foul. And that's just going to be a possession. Yeah, it's 1-1. Okay, so I was right. So I do have at least I may not have hit to the right people, but I got the right count.
Got the right count. So Patron will go to the line. 5-21 here. Eunice trails Tatum. 2:59 remaining in the half. Patron to the line.
All right. Shooting a 1-1 here. And she makes the front end of it. I mean, it's been a long time since we've scored a point.
Yeah, it's good to see that ball actually still will fit through that hoop. I was beginning to wonder.
And here's her second shot, and she makes both of those. I think of our 7 points, I think about 5 of them are at the free throw line.
I believe you're right.
I think we've only made one basket from the field so far today. All right, then Jimenez goes up underneath. She's blocked. It's Slover. Slover gets back out to 0, comes up to West. West goes back into Slover. Slover pulls up. Her shot is no good, and the rebound is off to Martinez, who gives it over to Frazier. As Hobbs is sitting on the bench with 3 fouls. To Patron. She's trying to Martinez. Martinez is open. Martinez's shot is up and no good as he just goes over the basket. And again, one shot and rebound goes to the Coyotes. And number 10 down there is Maricel. Her shot is up and good.
So that makes it 23-7 with 2:15 remaining here in the first half.
Okay, Jones looking at the top of the key. She's over to Rangel. Trying to do something. And Rangel loses the dribble, and Slover picks it up, and she's guarded and just goes all the way and in as Slover steals the ball off the dribble from Rangel and converts another easy 2 points. Jones tried to guard her out there and was even tried to pick up the foul, but wasn't able to do it. So Martinez's shot is up and no good, and it goes off the backboard, so it's going to be a dead ball and out to the Coyotes. And the Cardinals shots aren't even close to the rim. I mean, when was the last time we actually saw one from the field hit the rim?
Yeah, that ball hit the metal uprights that hold the backboard to the rafters.
Yeah, I mean, right now the Cardinals are just about as cold shooting from the field as they could possibly get.
1:27 remaining in the half.
All right, Slover goes up. She goes to Jimenez. Jimenez goes over there to, well, that was number 4, Sanchez, but Sanchez's shot is short, and Caballero
Dribbled it
loses
out
the
of
ball
bounds.
out of bounds. Yep, and so another turnover on the Cardinals.
A couple things we talked about at the beginning of this game, turnovers and second chance points, and they've got a bunch of both.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers on the Cardinals and a lot of second chances for the Coyotes. All right, Jimenez is out there. She comes across to, to beyond Sanchez. Sanchez goes back to Jimenez. Jimenez's shot is short. Jones has got the ball and trying to take it all the way. She's got Slover down at the other end here. And we're going to get a block, or are we going to get a...
Yeah, they called a blocking foul, so Chloe will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. 56 seconds remaining here in the first half.
The Cardinals have 7 points, and 5 of those are from the free throw line.
Yep.
So making 1 shot from the field in a half. But they're not even good. I think the worst thing is they're not even good shots.
Right. We just haven't been able to get anything going.
Yep.
And Chloe misses the front half of those free throws, so we'll see if maybe she can finish with the second one here. 25-7, 56 seconds remaining.
And she misses that one, and the rebound is off to the Coyotes. Jimenez is bringing the ball down court for the Coyotes. 50 seconds left here in the half. Goes over to West. West throws up a 2-pointer, and it's no good. The rebound is to Sanchez, and Sanchez is tied up.
But Caballero, she gets in there and plays about a foot taller than she is, able to tie him up after that rebound.
And so possession goes over to the Cardinals. But again, the rebound went to the Coyotes, and we tied them up after the rebound. All right, Jones bringing the ball down court. Driving over the right-hand side. Sheer shot is up and no good, and she is fouled.
Yeah, I don't know if you notice here, but right here, the last 2 trips down the floor, we've cleared the high post out.
Yep.
So now she's able to get into the paint with those shots, and at least she's getting to the line. Now, we'll see if she can step up here and knock this one down.
All right. So she's going to get a second. She's going to get a second shot here, as it's 32 seconds left, and they trail 25-7. Jones, second one, and it is off front of the rim, and a turnover, but Caballero knocks the ball away, but the Cardinals get it back, and we're on the floor here, as that is Jones and Sanchez that get tied up, and that's going to be white ball. Yep, white ball. And the Cardinals are trying to full court press. They bring it in now to Ava Slover. Jimenez pulls up. She goes over to Marisol. Marisol back to Marisol. Over Jimenez, and that's going to be Sanchez. Sanchez drives down, goes down on the floor. She went up, and that's 2-pointer. That is by Marisol. Her shot is no good. And, boy, Jones just got knocked over by number 20, and there's no call. That's Ava Slover. I mean, Jones just got hammered there and no call.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That's a tough half. 25-7 here at halftime. And, you know, what, like you said earlier, I think all but 2 of our points have been off free throws. And so just a tough half there for the Lady Cardinals.
Yeah, I think the worst part is not only they're not getting the rebounds, but they're just bad shots. I mean, I don't think most of the attempts have even hit the rim.
Right.
And we've had several of them go off the sides of the boards, the bottom, the top, and
Yeah, hit the support from the rafters.
So we're going to hear from some of the people that make these broadcasts possible.
Atmosphere, great schools and churches, and a low cost of living. The entire community is very involved with all levels of sports and academics. The Eunice Department of Motor Vehicles' new office hours are Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. No testing on Friday. Eunice, a friendly small town with a wonderful community and amenities. The Eunice Clinic is proud to support the Eunice Cardinals. Go Cardinals! You're the pride of Eunice. The Eunice Health Clinic offers many of the same basic services that many local physicians provide. They specialize in sick care for all ages, women's exams, physicals, health education, lab tests, and diagnostic studies. They're proud supporters of athletic and academic events. The Eunice Health Clinic is proud to back the Cardinals. Go Cards!
Eunice Public Schools is proud of their Eunice Cardinals, the Eunice community, and the staff of Eunice Schools. Eunice Public Schools has anchored itself as an integral part of the Eunice community and takes school safety very seriously. Eunice Schools have continually provided a quality education for the students of Eunice through good times and bad. The Eunice School District appreciates the Eunice community, and they're proud of their Eunice Cardinals. Eunice is on the move. Are you ready?
Eunice Pump and Supply has been around for over 30 years and is excited to continue their services to the community. They take pride in their employees and their hard work and dedication, and most importantly, take pride in the youth of Lee County. Eunice Pump and Supply is a proud supporter of all Lee County athletics and academics. Eunice Pump and Supply, 1310 Avenue O in Eunice, another proud supporter of Lee County athletics. Parker Energy, family owned and operated since 2006. Their team is known for their hard work and dedication, big enough to meet your needs for transport, pump trucks, vacuum trucks, and disposal services. Parker Energy and their staff are huge supporters of all Lee County sports and academics. They encourage their young adults to go the extra mile, whether it's sports, grades, or just being a better you. Parker Energy Support Services, 2350 Avenue O, a proud supporter of Lee County athletics.
Are you looking for a reliable and trustworthy auto shop? Check out Zia Auto Shop in Eunice. Zia Auto Shop specializes in lube and tires and accessories. They accept fleet company maintenance cards and do washing and detailing. Next time you need a dependable tire or lube service for your vehicle, Zia Auto Shop has you covered. All the services you need, call 394-0298 for all your lube, tire, and accessories. That's 394-0298. Zia Auto Shop, 1800 Main Street in Eunice, proud supporters of the Eunice Cardinals and Lady Cardinals.
All right, we're back at halftime here from the Tatum Coyotes, and so I'm going to ask the judge here to take off his robe and put on his old coaching hat. And so if you're in the locker room right now, what are you saying to the Eunice girls about how to turn this game around?
Well, I think ultimately, it goes back to what we talked about at the beginning of this game. Number one, you can't let them have second, third, fourth opportunities. And that you don't have to be big to prevent that. You just got to get good position, and you've got to get yourself in a good position. You got to block out, and then you got to go up and get those rebounds aggressively. Our biggest problem in today's game, in my mind, goes back to our size. We're just not very long. We're all small, and the majority of our young ladies have always been like a point guard on the teams that they've played on through the years, and so they're not used to having to go in there and block out. And when you've got four guards on the floor and maybe one post, those other four guards have got to learn that, hey, one post can't get down there and rebound against three or four girls that are just as big as she is. They're going to lose that battle most of the time. And so those smaller ones have got to get in there and block out. Even if they don't get the rebound by blocking their man out, they give our other post a chance to get that rebound. So that would probably be my first key. You got to play with some pride. You got to get in there and block out. I know you're outmatched in the size department, but you got to do that. Next, we've got to come up with some sort of offensive scheme, and I've watched 3 games so far. I don't know what our offensive scheme is. I don't know if we have one. And if we're going to isolate, which is what it looks like we're doing, we're isolating our guard with the ball up at the volleyball line, so halfway between the top of the key and half court. If we're going to isolate, you've got to clear that high post. You can't have two two offensive girls standing there with their two defenders standing there, because that creates just a cluster. And even when that isolation person, whether it's Chloe or Kendra or whoever's up there playing, gets past their man, now they're running into that brick wall right there at the free throw line, and by that point everybody else has collapsed and there's nowhere to go. There's no space to get a decent shot. So what you end up with is a forced up shot that hits the rafters and goes out the window of the gymnasium next door. And so those are the things that I think we need to do. We got to figure out what we're going to do. And if we're not running an isolation set, because that's basically all I've seen, if we're not running an isolation set, then we got to get into some type of motion offense, some screens, some movement, because we're just standing and watching on the offensive end, waiting for one of our guards to drive and throw up a shot. And so against a team as athletic that plays as good a defense as Tatum does, you're going to have some sort of plan, and I'm just not sure we have one right now.
Well, I have to agree, and I don't know whether we call it the girls are rushing their shots, but, you know, we were talking about when we were off the air earlier at the halftime, is we've seen a number, and I don't want to specifically name any one of the girls because it's happened to a number of the girls, is they'll come in, they'll try and drive the baseline. There's nothing there, and they just throw the ball up in the air. I mean, we've seen shots that haven't come within 3 or 4 feet of the rim.
Yeah, I mean, we've thrown the ball off the back of the backboard. I mean, you see that occasionally, but usually about once every 3 or 4 games. I think we've seen it like 2 or 3 times today and a half. We've hit the bars that go up to the rafters and the ceiling. We've probably airballed 6, 7, 8 shots in the first half. And it's not because we're not capable of shooting the ball. It's because we're throwing up some shots from awkward positions, bad positions in the middle of people. And
so is that poor decision making on the person with the ball? I mean, that's what I mean.
Could be. I mean, I don't necessarily think that you can point the finger at any one person. I don't know if Coach Gaetan and his staff haven't put in an offensive system that they are running correctly, or if they've put it in and the girls just aren't running it, or
they only have 1 week of practice too. So we have to, I mean, maybe I'm being a little too difficult here, is because they've only had 1 week of practice.
Right, and I get that. The thing is, though, I mean, if all we were allowed to practice is for the last week, Tatum was in the same boat. I mean, they might have got an extra few days of practice because they didn't have to play that last week, but even then, I mean, they've got a scheme in place, and they're executing it. You can see down on the offensive end, they're running a zone offense against our little zone defense that we're playing, and they're working the ball, they're moving the ball, they're getting it into the high post. If it goes into the low post, everybody collapse, they kick it out, get open shots, crash the boards, get rebounds, another shot. And so anyway, like I said, I'm not blaming it on Coach Gaetan. I'm not blaming it on any single girl. We just don't look like we have a plan or a system or anything in place. We just look like, 5 young ladies that we picked up down at the park, and let's go out to the park and play some 5-on-5 pickup basketball.
I'd have to say that is probably a very accurate description of what we've seen today. Yeah. There is no continuity. And we've just seen and you're right, it's not that there's any one girl or anything else like that, but it's just a lot of desperation attempts to just throw it up and hope something drops.
Right. Well, and, we go back one last time. We mentioned the size factor. I mean, as I walked by these Tatum young ladies earlier when I was walking from that end over to this end, I'm not a monster of a man by any means. I guess depending on the year that you measure me, sometimes I shrink, sometimes I grow, but I've been floating around that 6 foot mark most of my life. And there's a couple of girls on that team that kind of looked down to me when they walked past me a while ago. So, I mean, and I would say the average height on that team is probably 5'7", 5'8".
And the tallest girl on our team is Isabel Garrett.
At maybe 5'7", maybe. And so, so, and then we've got Kendra and Clarissa and Arissa and Chloe. I mean, those girls, they might be 5 foot.
Yeah.
And I mean, if the roster has them at something else, it's because they were wanting to make them look good. So, it's just we're going to have to get it together here in the second half.
All right, so Hobbs is back on the court now. She's got 3 fouls. That's the biggest.
Uh-oh.
Something wrong with the clock.
Yeah, they hadn't been able to get it reset. So they're going to reset it, throw it in again. 25-7 here to start the third quarter.
I mean, so having Hobbs out of the game definitely hurts because we do see her come up with, even these ladies that far outclass her in size and height, she comes out with a lot of rebounds. And so having her on the bench definitely hurts. She brings the ball in, goes over to Caballero, and Caballero is going to get fouled by Coons as she's trying to end the ball. So the Cardinals will be inbounding the ball underneath the, well, not underneath, but quite from their baseline. And Hobbs will be bringing it in again. And we had 2 seconds off the clock. So Patron out here to Frazier. Frazier's having a hard time holding on the ball right there. She goes off to Hobbs. Hobbs looking for something to bring in the inside. Patron. And Patron has the ball knocked away, but she's able to recover it. Patron drives down the corner. She's getting tied up. And looks like we're having a jump ball again. And we'll see who's, and that's going to be Coyote possession.
And, you know, those jump balls are not a good sign. That means that it's just a lot of scrambles, a lot of balls on the ground, a lot of, you know, we've got to take care of that ball and be more crisp with our passes and our control.
All right, West brings it down to, I think, bringing inside, and that's where you see Hobbs again, that hustle there to get away from West. Caballero bringing it down. She's over to Patron on the outside. Patron throws up a three. Hits basket, no good. And here comes the rebound back down the way as Marisol as one and done.
We saw Hobbs down here hustling. That's what she does for this team, and she's good at that for sure.
Yep.
She hustles out of bounds even. I mean, shoot, the ball's rolling all the way over there toward the elementary, and she's out there running to get it. And so, you know, Hobbs is a hustler. It's what she does. She creates a little chaos out there on the floor, and she's pretty much been the leader here today.
Yeah, and well, she set the entire second quarter because of those 3 fouls.
Right. Yeah, so 25-7, 7:10 remaining here in the third quarter. We have a timeout on the floor. The officials are out there talking probably about going fishing or something like that. We got Mark Hargrove standing down there, the former Lee County Sheriff. He's now the school resource officer here for Tatum Schools, and he's a fantastic guy. He and I did a lot of work back in our narcotics days in Lee County, and he's just a great man. So, you know, there's some great people here in Tatum. They've got a great school system. So now we'll get back into basketball here. Looks like we've got a horn, so they should be coming out of the huddle here. 7:10 remaining in the third, 25-7, Tatum leads.
I guess if there's any good thing for the Cardinals right now is they only have 4 fouls. Unfortunately, 3 of those are on Hobbs.
Yeah, there goes the second horn. We'll bring it in. Yeah, with the exception of Hobbs, we're not in foul trouble.
Yep. Yeah, Rissa Frazier is the only other Cardinals player with a foul.
The referee there that's going to throw it in, he looks like he used like Pantene Pro V hair stuff. He's got a nice bounce to his hair as he's running up and down the floor.
Caballero comes down and goes underneath, and looks like she's going to be fouled by Marisol.
That was a nice attack there by Caballero to get to the basket. And, you know, she's so quick. And when she gets a run and start like that at folks and is able to attack, it's really tough to get in front of her and stay there. And so they weren't able to keep position, sends her to the line. She misses the first one.
I think she has about half the points in that first half from the free throw line. And the second one off, and the rebound goes over to the Coyotes. So West brings it down to Slover. Slover's going to drive in. The ball is knocked away by Patron. The ball's on the ground, and we're going to have another jump ball as Patron knocks that ball away from Slover as Slover tries to drive in the paint.
Yeah, and that'll turn it back over to the Cardinals, and Tatum's coach is hollering for him to pick up. He's wanting them to pick up full court and get on their man here.
And Hobbs brings it in to Frazier. Frazier's being guarded by Sanchez. Frazier needs to get across the line. She does that. She goes over to, I guess it's knocked away, so there's no over and back there. Caballero picks up. She goes over to Hobbs. Hobbs tries to drive in. Nothing there. She comes back over. Back to Caballero at the top of the key. Caballero's shot is no good, and the rebound goes off to Slover as Slover basically throws Frazier to the ground. Sanchez back to Slover, back to Sanchez, back to Slover. Now they pick it up back to Slover. That was over to Jimenez. Now back to Sanchez. They're just kind of passing around the top there, looking what they can get underneath. They're just trying to get it underneath here, get somebody open. And Garrett gets Sanchez to the, but she pulls off, and now they gets the ball inside, and that's
definitely a foul there, and I believe that's going to possibly be 4 on Hobbs, and she seems disappointed with the call, but but I guess in her defense, if she hadn't done that, they'd have had a layup and 2 more points on the board. So
I would. She did what she had to do. I mean,
right.
She gets the 4th foul, but she had no choice there because otherwise that girl has got an easy basket. And fortunately, as Marisol misses the front end of that, so Hobbs made a 1-point play there by taking the foul.
At 25-7, Tatum misses both free throws, but they get the offensive rebound.
All right. And come Marisol,
and they
that
throw it
ball's
away.
Yep.
Yeah, she tried to throw it cross court and threw it too high, throws it out of bounds. So Eunice gets a favor there. Tatum still in the full court defense.
Caballero to Rangel. I didn't see Rangel's back in the game now, so Rangel came in for Frazier. And so Rangel loses the dribble but gets tied up with Ashley Slover, and looks like it's going to be another jump ball, but this time it's going to go to the Coyotes.
Yeah, so it's still 25-7. No points to speak of scored much here this half, but just a lot of turnovers.
And there's Marisol's shot, 3-pointers up and no good, and the rebound is off to Rangel. She gives it over to Frazier, and Frazier's, I believe, is fouled there. And that foul is going to be on number 15, Jimenez, and that's her 2nd foul.
Yeah, Jimenez was in a great spot, but she kind of reached across her, and the official called her for the reach. So Eunice will have the ball. Full court pressure coming here from the Coyotes.
All right, brings it in Patron. Patron's tied up in there. She gets across, and the ball's knocked away from behind by Jimenez, who gives it over to Sanchez. Slover bringing the ball down court. She finds, it's copped up in the middle, and we got a jump ball. That was a great job there by Frazier to tie her up.
Yeah, so another jump ball. I think that's about jump ball number 45 for the game. It's going to be Eunice's ball. Tatum is still pressing. Jones comes into the game. Patron goes out.
Jones in there, and Caballero is almost all the way down by herself there, and she throws the ball up and is no good, and the rebound is off to Marisol. So Caballero had a one-on-one with Jones and was not able to convert, with Marisol. All right, so here's Marisol's, or Jimenez's shot's no good. She gets a rebound, throws it again, still no good. This time Marisol's trying to fight, and Marisol's going to be fouled by Caballero, I believe, or maybe they're saying Garrett, but I think that should have been Caballero. No, yeah, they're going to say the Caballero on that one.
Yeah, so they gave that foul to Caballero, who kind of reached in there, got her on the arm. I think she thought she got ball, and I couldn't tell from my angle. Ref had a better view than me. 25-7 still, 4:57 remaining in the quarter, and Tatum misses the front end of that one. This has just been a kind of a
3 minutes gone, or 4 minutes, almost 3 minutes gone, and not a single point scored.
Yeah, and a ton of turnovers here this quarter.
And a bunch of missed free throws by both teams, and that is the first point of this half.
It's 26-7 now, and Cardinals are going to need to inbound the ball.
All right, so Frazier's
they're
out.
switching defenses.
Martinez is in the game now as they pull out Frazier. Rangel gets tied up on the side, and she's going to get caught up in the jump ball. If she doesn't get some help, nobody's there to help her. And for there, West is basically thrown away by, Jones is tied up by West, and Sanchez gets that one there. So Jones tried to come to Rangel's rescue, and West just grabbed her and threw her away. And this full court press is really hurting, and there's a foul, yes. Slover we've seen her do that a couple of times where she just kind of, used her body and shoved the player.
Yeah, so that makes it 28-7 here in the third quarter. 4:29 remaining in the quarter. Eunice will inbounds.
So we've had 1 point scored in 3.5 minutes of play in this quarter. Jones goes up, and her shot is partially blocked and no good. And they have Slover all the way down court, and Jones steals it away. I'm sorry, that was Caballero. So she goes to Jones. Jones drives down all the way. Her shot is short and no good, but looks like, and they're going to call Jones for a charge.
Yeah.
Boy, when it's not going your way, it's not going your way.
Yeah, once again, that's a rough one. 4:08 remaining here in the third. Still 28-7.
And boy, the referee's getting an earful from Gaetan on that one. All right, so Sanchez goes into Maricel. Maricel's shot is no good. The rebound is off to Maricel, and she's going to be fouled by either Garrett or Martinez. I don't know who yet. Does he call that on Caballero? I thought he held up 4 fingers. So that's going to be a Caballero, and that'll be her second foul.
Yeah, so 3:56 remaining. Tatum goes to the line.
And Maricel misses that one. She's 1 for 4, 1 for 5 now so far from the line in this half.
Yeah, 7-28, I believe is what that says.
I think the only good thing for us is they have been ice cold from the line. And she makes that
second
one. So 2 free throws is the only scoring so far in this half. All right, Caballero's driving down the court with West. She gets tied up at Maricel, and Maricel is going to get, or I'm sorry, Jimenez is going to get a foul there. She hip checks Caballero out of bounds.
Yeah, so 3:49 remaining here in the third. Eunice had the ball on the side, 7-29 in favor of Tatum.
So that's 3 fouls now on Jimenez. So bring it across court to Garrett. Garrett's over to Rangel. Rangel top of the key. She's been guarded by Sanchez. They're trying to get something going out there. And Rangel basically runs out of the dribble and loses the ball. So another turnover. And here's Jimenez. She goes inside. She goes up against, and her shot is blocked by Garrett. And that's Rangel's now got the ball, goes down, and her shot is no good. And the rebound, and that looks like Caballero. And that's only the second points we've had, or the second shot we've made from the field in this game.
Looks like we got a timeout by Tatum here. Tatum now leads 29-9 with 3:15 remaining in the quarter. Tatum's coach is unhappy, even though he's got a 20-point lead here late in the third.
All right, let's hear from a couple of our sponsors.
Cardinal Hardware is your complete lumber yard with reasonable prices and outstanding service. When you need hardware or lumber, think of Cardinal Hardware. When you need great accommodations that feel like home, think of Oil Patch Motel in Eunice. Cardinal Hardware and Oil Patch Motel in Eunice, another proud sponsor of all Lee County sports and academics.
Eunice has a friendly small town.
All right, back to live action here as it's going to be Coyotes' ball as the Cardinals make just their second shot from the field in this game, and it's now 29-9. And the Cardinals are gone to a full court press now. And it bring down here, it's going to be to Maricel. Maricel goes west underneath to Sanchez, and Sanchez misses her shot. The rebound goes off to zero. She didn't get it, and they're going to have another jump ball as Jones and Patron are in there for that rebound battling, and they tie up the Coyotes.
Yeah.
So Jimenez is going to inbound the ball for the Coyotes.
So here we go on the defensive baseline out of bounds play.
And, then you got Jones get tied up there. And, all right, we're seeing a lot of stuff when you're already out masked. You just wonder why there's not a call there. But Jones brings that over to Frazier. Frazier drives the baseline. She goes to Martinez, and Martinez is fouled. And I think that's going to be Jimenez. And if so, that's going to be her fourth foul.
Yeah, so Jasmine Martinez, like I said, who I've been impressed with this year and last year, she I thought she was going to go to the line. I guess that was Frazier.
Well, maybe she got it off to Frazier. I thought I'm the same thing as you, but it was still Jimenez who did the foul, and Frazier misses the front end of that too. All right, so they are taking Jimenez out, and they're putting Hart in. All right, here comes Frazier's second attempt here. And she misses that one too, and the rebound is off to Maricel, who has Sanchez wide open and misses her shot, gets her own rebound. And Hart gets the rebound and puts that up and in. Hart just used her size and position to block everybody out. So Caballero down the court. She's driving down the baseline. She tries to throw up again. Nothing there, and she just throws the ball up. Now, she may have been fouled, but
yeah, luckily,
she had no opportunity there to make a shot.
Yeah, they called it on the floor this time. The guy with the Pantene Pro V shampoo and the bouncy hair, he called that one, and he's saying now that it's 1-1.
Oh, they must be in the bonus already.
Caballero will get to go to the line and shoot some free throws, which so far today has been a pretty good deal for us.
Yeah, I think they're saying that was on Sanchez. It would be her first foul. And we missed that, but the rebound comes off to Martinez and to Frazier, and Patron turns up a three-pointer and makes the three-pointer.
Yeah, Clarissa Patron throws up a three there. Kind of side-armed it and knocked it in.
Well, we got a mismatch underneath here as Martinez with Hart down here.
Yeah, we just, Martinez is the tallest young lady we've got, so she's down there playing the post.
And West brings in, and I think they're going to call Patron for a foul there. Yeah, number one, so Patron is called on a foul there.
So 12-31. Tatum leads, 1:53 remaining here in the third quarter.
And Hart just up and she's going to get a call. And I'm afraid that's on Frazier, and that was a good call.
Yeah, it was a late call, but it was the right call. I mean, Frazier definitely went up and got her across the arms. I think Gaetan was trying to transition into a man-to-man defense at that point. The issue is the whole team was looking at each other, and they weren't sure who wanted to guard the post down low.
Yeah.
So nobody ended up with her.
And she misses it, and the rebound comes over to Caballero and to Frazier. And, boy, Frazier almost wasn't looking at that one. Back to Caballero. They're trying to break that, and the ball is knocked out of bounds by Ava Slover. So the younger Slover is in the game now. And Jones and Caballero and Jones. Jones throw that ball up is no good, and the rebound it's off the Coyotes, but they knock it out of bounds, so it's going to stay Cardinals ball. Frazier's going to inbound it. She goes over to Jones. Jones' shot is up and no good, and the rebound is off to Hart.
Yeah, Chloe's just having a real tough time. She has not been able to find her mark here today. Hadn't hit any of these shots that she normally knocks these down.
Well, and we had a lot of banging going on there and no calls on either team, and there should have been, and so another 2 points there for the Coyotes.
It's now 35-12 in favor of Tatum.
And Patron goes in underneath. Her shot is blocked, and that should have been a call on West there.
Yeah, I mentioned this in a discussion I had earlier today. Sometimes in girls basketball we have this mentality of let them play, and it just turns into a rough match, and that's what tonight and last night have been.
Yeah. All right, so there's Frazier steals the ball away. She's trying to drive down. She goes in. Her shot is no good off the side of the backboard. And the ball over to Cardinals. And that is number 0, and her shot rolls round, and finally toilet bowls in.
So it's now 37-12 with 41 seconds remaining here in the quarter.
Well, Jones goes up, and her shot again is no good, and the rebound is off to the Coyotes. And Frazier's down there battling for it, and I think they got him tied up on the ground. And quite honestly, that number, the younger Slover, should have been called for traveling. She's rolling on the ground, and she's the only one touching the ball.
Yeah, I think the ref that's out here, his Pantene Pro V got sweaty and got in his eye, and he couldn't see it.
That's a ball inbound to Patron, and her shot is no good. And Caballero ties up West down the other end. So jump ball, but that one's going to go to the Coyotes.
Yeah, so another jump ball. These guys are going to have loose pockets when this game's over from having to reach into that pocket and flip the little token back and forth over. It's now 37-12 with 20 seconds remaining in the third.
All right, Sanchez brings the ball down. She's over to Marisol. Marisol's going to drive around the key up to Martinez. And Marisol's shot is no good. Martinez has the rebound, but it's stolen on the ground. And it's going to be knocked out of bounds by, oh, wow. Yeah, that was, it should have been white ball. Frazier kicked it out of bounds backwards. And all right, stays with the Coyotes. West shows up a three-pointer, and her shot is no good. And the rebound goes off Martinez, and thrown away, and that is the end of the third, as it is 37-12 in favor of the Coyotes.
Yeah, it's just been a rough game for the Lady Cardinals. They just have not been able to get anything going. I mean, even when they've been able to get some shots going, they just have not been able to knock any of them down. Just offensively, hadn't been able to get any momentum going. Defensively, they've just, Tatum has gave them fits. They've been able to pretty much score at will. They're getting to the basket when they want to. On Tatum's offensive end, they're just longer, and they're able to stand there with the ball basically over their head and look right over the top of our defense and find cutters and find open people. And as a whole, we've just struggled all the way around today. Tatum's just been the better ball club today.
Well, and it's even, the number of fouls. So Tatum has 16 team fouls. They're in the bonus again here, and we now have 11 team fouls for the game on the Cardinals. Right now, the only one in foul trouble for the Cardinals is Faith Hobbs, who is sitting on the bench. Jimenez is still out there playing, as she has 4 fouls. And then Coons 2, and Ashley Slover with 2, and West with 2. So even though they got a lot of fouls, they're spread out.
Yeah, and Tatum still, he's telling them to pick up, so they're still going to match up and get in our shorts here this fourth quarter. So I don't think he's calling the dogs off at any point soon. And
we've got Hobbs is bringing the ball inbounds. So Hobbs is back in the game, even though she has 4 fouls. And
that's a turnover on Eunice. So.
Yeah, the Cardinals step out of bounds.
Yeah, I think that was Rangel. She tried to rip through. She got double-teamed in the corner and stepped on the line. So that'll ball go back to Tatum.
Parker's in the game now, the first time we've seen her today. And it's going to go over to Jimenez, and it comes down to Slover, and Slover can't get it. Who go back out to Marisol. Marisol's looking for Coons, or Slover. They got him moving inside West. So now they bring Jimenez out to the top of the key. She goes into Slover, and Slover is tied up by Rangel, and there's no foul called there, and we get the ball. Yeah, just calling it a deflection and out of bounds. So Eunice will get the ball with Hobbs to throw it in. So Rangel, she's going to go over to Hobbs, over to Caballero. Caballero's got Parker down court and doesn't see her. All right, Rangel top of the key. She goes over to Garrett, back over to Hobbs. Hobbs drives in and loses her dribble, and it's another turnover. And, well, the Cardinals get it back. So Caballero on the left-hand side, baseline, she goes over to Parker. Parker sets up for a three-pointer and gets nothing but air. But fortunately, the rebound is off to Hobbs. Hobbs threw across court to Caballero, and Caballero and West are tied up. 14-14, another jump ball.
And so 6:53 remaining in the game. Eunice trails 12-37.
And Jimenez is still staying in there. So kind of surprised we're not seeing more of the younger players on the court with this score for the Cardinals. All right, Slover comes down. She comes back around thing, and she doesn't get it. And the rebound is to Rangel. Rangel is tied up. The ball is stolen away by Jimenez. Jimenez comes up, and her ball is good. And there's no offensive call or defensive call there as Hobbs is knocked to the ground.
And that ball's deflected on the inbounds play out of bounds. It'll go back to Eunice. It's now 39-12.
All right, Jones is going to come in for Rangel. All right, Jones got the ball, bringing it down court. She looks like she's planning to drive straight down to the hoop. No, she pulls up and goes to Parker. Parker's shot is no good, and the rebound is off to Coons. And here comes Slover down the court. She's tied up by Jones. She goes over to number 20, whoever that is, and Hobbs just picked up her 5th foul.
Yeah, she was in good position, but then she slapped that arm down, got her right across the arm. So she'll go over there and take it easy, get her in ice water and maybe some Brussels sprouts while she's over there on the bench. So 6:16 remaining here in the fourth, 39-12.
So this 2 games in a row where Hobbs fouled out, and quite honestly, you have nothing to blame her for. I mean, she
plays hard.
Miss Hustle.
Absolutely.
I like to see that spirit in some of the other players.
Yeah, she's playing hard, playing with a passion. I mean, you can't complain.
Nope. So Martinez back in the game for Hobbs, and then Hobbs, see, that's going to be.
They're going to call it didn't hit the rim, so they're going to say it's a dead ball and give the ball to Eunice here.
All right. Bring it back across, and boy, Jones almost wasn't quite sure that Caballero was looking for it. So Caballero and West we've been seeing a few of those, and West has done that a lot, and she finally got called for it.
Yeah, they're kind of getting up and bumping with the body. That's that old Hobbs-Eagle defense that when they get into northern New Mexico and Albuquerque, they get called for lots of fouls, and down here they get away with it a lot of times. It just kind of depends on what the official style is. And they've really bodied up our guards and kind of controlled them and not allowed them to get that separation. So Caballero will get to the line here.
Shooting 1-1, and she misses the front end, and the rebound is off to Coons. And Slover's bringing the ball down. She's being guarded by Parker. And they go in, and nobody's on number 0, and she scores easily. As we have some broken.
She's not on our roster, so the Cardinals probably didn't even know she was out there. They didn't have a roster with her on it.
And the Cardinals just threw the ball away, and that's going to be a foul on Caballero.
5:46 remaining here in the game. It's 12-41. Eunice has got taken out to the woodshed, and they're getting it slammed on them right now. 12-41, 5:46 remaining here in the game, and you can see the frustration on the face of all of them.
Well, that last pass was supposed to be meant for Garrett, and Garrett wasn't even looking for it, so they get the rebound. Coons gets the rebound, turns around, and puts it in for 2 more points. And as the Tatum is keeping the full court press on, even though they're leading by 31 points. And they turn it over again. Here, Slover comes down to number 0. Number 0 up there again and gets another relatively easy 2 points. And boy, Tatum just wants to lay it on the Cardinals.
Yeah, they are right now for sure. It's 45-12.
Yeah, they're up by 33 points, and they're still in a full court press.
Yeah.
And still have all their starters out there. So their desire is just to run up the score now at this point. I mean, this is, I have to say here, when you got young players out there and you have all your starters in a 35-point lead, that's a bit ridiculous.
Well, and it's tough. It's like we talked about during football. That plus-minus differential is huge when you get to the end of the season. And I know all those years where we had those teams that were all constantly ranked in the top 3 in the state, probably 80% of our games we'd win by 40, 50 points. And I remember one game in particular where we ended up winning 97-5, and we didn't full court press after about the first 2 minutes of the game.
But he's still pressing. That's the part that I have.
Yeah.
That's where I'm having the issue with. Is this?
But
this
what
is
I'm
not
saying
a
is,
sportsmanship
it's
thing.
so tough. I mean, I know all of his kids, which he's only got 3 or 4 kids on the bench. They've all been in the game. They've all played. But yeah, he's got his. At this point in the season, he's got to get his kids out there and try to make them better. So he's playing hard, and our girls have just got to toughen up. And
Patron comes down and her shot, and she gets nothing. She gets the rebound, but it goes over to Coons. And so here comes the Coyotes again as they got a breakaway, and they're not going to get it as that ball goes over Maricel's head, and it's going to be Cardinals ball.
So 4:59 remaining in the game, 45-12.
Well, we were talking last night about a 30-point lead, but it doesn't seem to be the case. In fact, the clock didn't even start there.
Well, I think you have to be up 35 before
Okay. Oh, is that what?
it runs?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Rangel goes down the center. Her shot is finally in. That is only the 7th point from the field for the Cardinals this evening.
Good shot there by Denise Rangel.
And that was Jimenez, and she's going to go to the line, and who is that foul on?
Caballero, and that's 5 on her.
I only show that as the 4th foul on Caballero.
Well, the scorer's
they're saying
table.
5. Okay, then I
Yep.
missed one then.
I was going to say, I knew as soon as they called it, the scorer's table was holding a 5 in the air, which is usually indicative of it being 5 fouls.
So missed one of them, but so now Caballero and Hobbs are both fouled out. And Frazier comes back in for the Cardinals. And the free throw is missed. And is it going no shot because Coons jumped in? All right, and she makes the second, so it is 46-14. 4:28 left here in the game. Patron brings the ball down court. She goes over to Rangel, and the ball's knocked away, and it's going to be Jimenez running down the court, and she pulls up and misses her shot, and the rebound is off to Slover, to Maricel, who goes into Jimenez, and Jimenez makes the basket.
So that's 48-14 here.
And Rangel's over to Frazier. Frazier drives down, and I'm not sure if that was a pass or a shot. But
ball goes out of bounds off Tatum there, so that's
Yep.
going to turn the ball back over to Eunice here. 3:49 remaining in the game, 14-48.
all right, Frazier's going to inbound the ball. She gives it to Patron. Patron's tied up in the corner over here. Patron has the ball knocked away, and that's going to be a foul. And if that foul's on Jimenez, that's going to be her 5th.
Now they called it, I believe, on number 2.
Okay, on Coons, which makes it her 3rd.
Yeah, I think that was a sympathy foul there. I gotta say, we're getting this good old-fashioned tail kicking right now, and I think even the officials, not the one with the Pert Plus, but the other one that uses the slick head razor.
1-1. Okay, they were in the bonus. I was kind of surprised why they weren't shooting.
48-14, 3:45 remaining in the game, and Garrett will go to the line for 1-1.
And she misses it, and the rebound goes over to Frazier. Frazier pulls up a three-pointer and makes it. And that makes only the 10th point from the field for the Cardinals this afternoon's game. She goes over to Kim, and that is into Maricel. Maricel doesn't get it, and the rebound is battled away, and it's taken by Rangel. Rangel bring the ball down court. 3:20 left in the game. Over to Frazier. Frazier gives up to Rangel, top of the key. Rangel goes to Patron. Patron throws up a three-pointer, and it is no good, and the rebound goes off to Frazier. And then Frazier's called for traveling.
She was going to get up off her knees and take off. You can't do that. So
Yep.
17-48, 3:04 remaining in the game.
But she got the rebound.
That's a good rebound.
Yep.
She went up high to get that rebound, right down under her knees. And 17-48, 3:04 remaining. Tatum's going to make a couple of substitutions, and here we go.
All right. Jimenez brings the ball down court. And she's looking at Coons, and that is Castillo, and Castillo's going to foul Coons. So Castillo just gets in the game for about 30 seconds and picks up her first foul. Both teams are in the bonus now, so Coons is going to go to the line shooting 1-1.
Yeah, here in Tatum, they're used to some of that rodeo action, and that looked like some bulldogging that was going on right there. I'm not sure who was bulldogging who, but the foul's called on the Cardinals. Coons will go to the line to shoot it. 2:52 remaining in the game, and she knocks down the first one.
49-17.
Jones comes back into the game. She's been over there moving and wiggling her ankle. I think she stepped on somebody's foot earlier when she went to the side.
And Coons makes the second one, so 50-17, a 33-point lead here for the Coyotes. 2:47 left in the game. And Rangel's trying to drive down. She gets court and the ball does not go in. And the rebound goes off to Frazier. She doesn't get it. Now this rebound is to Castillo, and she's tied up. And it looks like we're going to have a jump ball. Yep, going to be a jump ball, and so the Cardinals will be inbounding it for the 375th jump ball of the day.
Man, a lot of jump balls.
She gives it over to Jones. Jones over on the right-hand side. Backing up. Jones is looking for an opening there. And so she gets tied up. She goes to Rangel. Rangel's got it open in the middle and drives that open and actually gets this one now. Well, the Cardinals are putting a few points on the board here, making it look a little more respectable.
Yeah, and Tatum's got 4 of their starters over on the side. They've pulled off the full court pressure, and this is probably why the coach waited till the last few minutes to do that.
Yep. All right, so don't know who the foul. Another foul on the Cardinals there. Not quite sure who it was. But Jimenez is going to be going the line and shooting 2. And she misses the first one. 31-point lead for the Coyotes as Coons sets down and Hart comes in the game. And Martinez is out and Garrett is back in the game. And the second ball, and that is off, and that rebound is to Marisol. Marisol over to Jimenez. Jimenez driving around. She goes up and she's blocked, and that she's going to be fouled by Frazier. That'll be Frazier's third foul. So Marisol will go back to the line shooting 2 again. I'm not sorry. Jimenez will go back to the line shooting 2.
Yeah, Frazier looked like she was standing there with her arm stuck straight up in the air, but she's called for that foul. 2 minutes remaining. It's 19-50, and now that makes it 51 because Jimenez is able to knock down that first free throw.
All right, here's the second shot, and she makes that one too. So, and Jimenez is going to set down. She's been in the game she's been out there almost the entire game.
Yeah, and back into the game comes number 14.
And West, yes. So Jones goes Patron out there. Patron's back to Jones on the right-hand side. She's coming across the key. She's looking for somebody crossing there. She goes Patron. Patron's going to try and drive the baseline and is shoved out of bounds. And if she is shoved out of bounds by West.
I think they called Frazier for the shove in the back on the screen. So, yeah, that's what they're going to call. So that'll be
no, it was on West, and she fouled out.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
Well, I saw the 2 of them. Frazier came up and screened her, then she turned around and shoved. So I think we had a shoving match going on between Frazier and they just kind of happened to catch I don't know if it was the second or the third or the fourth shove, but the 2 of them were in a little shoving battle down there for a second.
So West fouls out of the game for the Coyotes. So we have 3 folks fouled out so far tonight. And
Tatum gets that rebound and then throws it over to Kiki Parker. And she just happens to be sitting at the end of the Cardinal bench. So that'll be a turnover. Yeah. Eunice will get the ball on the baseline.
And Frazier missed both ends of her free throws there. And gets it into, and she throws it up there. Garrett got the rebound, gave it to Frazier, and Frazier missed her shot. All right, 1:27 left here in the game. Marisol's got the ball. She's going to drive, and she drives the ball away. It's on to Frazier, and the Frazier has the ball pulled by Hart, and Marisol gets the ball and goes for 2 points and in.
It's 1:16 remaining in the game. 1952, which is about the year I feel like I was born as I'm sitting here.
All right. Jones with the ball. 1:10 left here in the game. Over to Rangel. Going to go inside to Garrett. Garrett's going to try and move in on Hart. Doesn't. Throws it out to Jones. Jones' shot is short. And it looks like one of the smallest players on the team tied up with the biggest player out there. So that was Rangel totally tied up there with Hart. And I'll bet you Hart is 3 times Rangel's mass. All right, so the jump ball, so it still makes it Coyote possession. So West didn't foul out. So maybe there was a mistake there in that, but they definitely indicated, and she went to the bench. So because I only had it as 4 fouls, so that was her 4th foul. Here comes West down the court again, and she loses the dribble, and Rangel picks it up. And Rangel's getting tied up. She goes over Patron, goes over to Frazier. Frazier's down deep. Frazier goes up. Her ball is partially blocked, and the rebound goes to 0-0. 36 seconds left here in the game. 52-19. Hart's got the ball. And they're certainly not going to just run out the clock. They're trying to make a play. Well, maybe not. So here's Hart at the top of the key. She's being guarded by Rangel. Yes. She comes over to Hart, and Hart's not able to get to the ball, and it's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be Cardinals ball with 14.4 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, 1952 is the score. .14 seconds remaining.
And Jones brings the ball down court. She goes over to Rangel. Rangel tries to drive out. She comes to baseline. Her shot is no good, finds nothing but air. And that is the game as the Lady Cardinals go down to defeat 52-19 here this afternoon.
Yeah, that was a rough day there. I mean, that'll put Tatum out in first place with no losses in our district. Eunice now loses their first game, so they'll now have a loss in district. And I'm guessing, the way I understand it, Eunice and Jow would be tied with 1 loss apiece. Tatum and Jow yet to play each other at this point. So that's going to set up an interesting situation where later in the season we'd be forced to need this win if we can go take care of business against the other teams in our district.
Yep. Well, let's hear from the folks that make these broadcasts possible.
Great schools and churches and a low cost of living. The entire community is very involved with all levels of sports and academics. The Eunice Department of Motor Vehicles' new office hours are Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. No testing on Friday. Eunice, a friendly small town with a wonderful community and amenities. The Eunice Clinic is proud to support the Eunice Cardinals. Go Cardinals! You're the pride of Eunice. The Eunice Health Clinic offers many of the same basic services that many local physicians provide. They specialize in sick care for all ages, women's exams, physicals, health education, lab tests, and diagnostic studies. They're proud supporters of athletic and academic events. The Eunice Health Clinic is proud to back the Cardinals. Go Cards!
Eunice Public Schools is proud of their Eunice Cardinals, the Eunice community, and the staff of Eunice Schools. Eunice Public Schools has anchored itself as an integral part of the Eunice community and takes school safety very seriously. Eunice Schools have continually provided a quality education for the students of Eunice through good times and bad. The Eunice School District appreciates the Eunice community, and they're proud of their Eunice Cardinals. Eunice is on the move. Are you ready?
Eunice Pump and Supply has been around for over 30 years and is excited to continue their services to the community. They take pride in their employees and their hard work and dedication, and most importantly, take pride in the youth of Lee County. Eunice Pump and Supply is a proud supporter of all Lee County athletics and academics. Eunice Pump and Supply, 1310 Avenue O in Eunice, another proud supporter of Lee County athletics. Parker Energy, family owned and operated since 2006. Their team is known for their hard work and dedication, big enough to meet your needs for transport, pump trucks, vacuum trucks, and disposal services. Parker Energy and their staff are huge supporters of all Lee County sports and academics. They encourage their young adults to go the extra mile, whether it's sports, grades, or just being a better you. Parker Energy Support Services, 2350 Avenue O, a proud supporter of Lee County Athletics.
Are you looking for a reliable and trustworthy auto shop? Check out Zia Auto Shop in Eunice. Zia Auto Shop specializes in lube and tires and accessories. They accept fleet company maintenance cards and do washing and detailing. Next time you need a dependable tire lube service for your vehicle, Zia Auto Shop has you covered. All the services you need, call 394-0298 for all your lube, tire, and accessories. That's 394-0298. Zia Auto Shop, 1800 Main Street in Eunice, proud supporters of the Eunice Cardinals and Lady Cardinals.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Coyote Stadium here as the Ladies Cardinals have just suffered the worst loss that I've seen in the 2 years that I've been doing Eunice basketball. And
yeah, it's kind of hard to say much about that other than we got taken out to the woodshed and we got a good old-fashioned tail whooping. So, got our tails kicked on both sides of the ball. We got our tails kicked on the inbounds plays. We got our tails kicked in the press. I mean, I don't think there's an area that we didn't get our tails kicked. It just was not a pretty game. With that said, you go to the locker room, they clear the scoreboards, and that's the end of it. And we got to come back out here next week because one thing about this shortened COVID season is they've crammed a lot of games into a real small space of time. And they got, 3 more games that we think next week? And so it's not gonna, they're not gonna have much time to sit around and lick their wounds. They're gonna have to jump right back out here and play.
well, and if the broadcast schedule we got was correct, that they're going to open Monday night in Lovington.
Yeah. So it don't get any easier. I can assure you that Lovington's team is going to be just as good as this Tatum team. And so, if not better, Lovington coming from I don't know if they're now 4 or 5A. It seems like it depends on the year, but they jump in and out of that 4 or 5A division. Tatum jumps in and out of the 1-2, and Eunice jumps in and out of that 2-3 spot, depending on the year. So it's not going to get any easier, and Eunice is just going to have to put this one behind them, and they're going to have to make some adjustments and make things happen. And now the boys' game, just like yesterday after we finished beating Jal in the girls' game, I said, okay, the boys' game is going to be a little different. Well, I can assure you that the boys' game will be a little different.
In a positive aspect.
That's right. That's right. And this boys' team for Tatum last year ended up winning state, I believe. However, they lost quite a few kids from that year, and then they've already had an injury to a significant player on the team this year in a game last week with a significant leg injury. So this Tatum team is young. They don't have a lot of size, and I would guess that if you were picking an odds favorite, or if they had it up on the wall at Caesar's Palace, I would guess that Eunice would have to be the favorite in this game.
Well, we've got about 13 minutes here before we're going to tip off here for the boys' game. So we're going to let you have some video as the two teams warm up. And the judge and I will be back with you in about 11 minutes.
Cardinal Hardware is your complete lumber yard with reasonable prices and outstanding service. When you need hardware or lumber, think of Cardinal Hardware. When you need great accommodations that feel like home, think of Oil Patch Motel in Eunice. Cardinal Hardware and Oil Patch Motel in Eunice, another proud sponsor of all Lee County sports and academics.
Eunice has a friendly small-town atmosphere, great schools and churches, and a low cost of living. The entire community is very involved with all levels of sports and academics. The Eunice Department of Motor Vehicles' new office hours are Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. No testing on Friday. Eunice, a friendly small town with a wonderful community and amenities.
Eunice Public Schools is proud of their Eunice Cardinals, the Eunice community, and the staff of Eunice Schools. Eunice Public Schools has anchored itself as an integral part of the Eunice community and takes school safety very seriously. Eunice Schools have continually provided a quality education for the students of Eunice through good times and bad. The Eunice School District appreciates the Eunice community, and they're proud of their Eunice Cardinals. Eunice is on the move. Are you ready?
The Eunice Clinic is proud to support the Eunice Cardinals. Go Cardinals! You're the pride of Eunice. The Eunice Health Clinic offers many of the same basic services that many local physicians provide. They specialize in sick care for all ages, women's exams, physicals, health education, lab tests, and diagnostic studies. They're proud supporters of athletic and academic events. The Eunice Health Clinic is proud to back the Cardinals. Go Cards!
Parker Energy, family owned and operated since 2006. Their team is known for their hard work and dedication, big enough to meet your needs for transport, pump trucks, vacuum trucks, and disposal services. Parker Energy and their staff are huge supporters of all Lee County sports and academics. They encourage their young adults to go the extra mile, whether it's sports, grades, or just being a better you. Parker Energy Support Services, 2350 Avenue O, a proud supporter of Lee County athletics. Eunice Pump and Supply has been around for over 30 years and is excited to continue their services to the community. They take pride in their employees and their hard work and dedication, and most importantly, take pride in the youth of Lee County. Eunice Pump and Supply is a proud supporter of all Lee County athletics and academics. Eunice Pump and Supply, 1310 Avenue O in Eunice, another proud supporter of Lee County athletics.
Are you looking for a reliable and trustworthy auto shop? Check out Zia Auto Shop in Eunice. Zia Auto Shop specializes in lube and tires and accessories. They accept fleet company maintenance cards and do washing and detailing. Next time you need a dependable tire or lube service for your vehicle, Zia Auto Shop has you covered. All the services you need, call 394-0298 for all your lube, tire, and accessories. That's 394-0298. Zia Auto Shop, 1800 Main Street in Eunice, proud supporters of the Eunice Cardinals and Lady Cardinals.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Coyote Arena as the Eunice Cardinals are on the road this afternoon to take on the Tatum Coyotes in boys basketball. Unfortunately, we just watched a total dismantling of the Cardinals girls varsity team as they just could not get anything going on either end of the court. And, you know, the size and play of the Tatum Coyotes really hurt them. But we'll put that in the rearview mirror, and let's talk about what we expect to see here in the next hour.
Yeah, I would guess that I know that the boys had practice this morning. It wasn't, from what I understand, it wasn't a full-blown practice, but, you know, their coach was not happy with last night's performance, so he had them up bright and early up there walking through stuff and adjusting some things. I expect to see them come out here with a little passion. They took a whooping last night, similar to what the girls took, maybe not quite that extreme, but they took a whooping, and so I expect them to come out here and play with a little passion. I also expect them to be slightly to be slightly tired. But, you know, I mean, that is what it is. I mean, they're going to have to battle, and it's the way the whole basketball season is going to be, 2, 3, 4 games a week, and so they're going to have to get out here and play. I tell you, it's always entertaining to watch somebody like Fernando Jimenez sweep the floor, because I don't think he swept too many floors in his life, having worked with him as a youngster. I think now he's like the chief deputy at the Lee County Sheriff's Department, so kind of interesting watching him sweep the floor. They're going to do the player introduction here. They're introducing Eunice at this time. And I don't know if we'll get the pleasure of listening to another version of the rock and roll national anthem again or not, but I got to say that had to have been the most entertaining version of the national anthem that I've ever been witness to.
It was unique.
It was the longest version of the national anthem that I've ever heard, too. I'm almost certain there was like a chorus that went about every 15 seconds with a guitar chorus anyway. So
kind of remind me a little of when Roseanne sang the national anthem.
Right. Yeah. I thought that was an odd selection. If it was somebody local that had sung it, I wouldn't be making so much entertainment of it, but I'm sure that was just some
rock
video they found on YouTube or something. But it was rather entertaining, much more entertaining than the girls' basketball game was. So I think that this game right here will be much more entertaining, at least for the Cardinal fans. I really believe that our boys will come out here to take care of business tonight. Don't get me wrong, Tatum is, I mean, they've always got a basketball program. Even when they're not very good, they're always competitive. And so I don't expect it to be a cakewalk by any means for Eunice. In fact, you know, I'm not saying that Eunice is guaranteed a win. I just think that this will be a better game for the Eunice faithful that have traveled up here today.
Well, tonight we'll probably, I mean, if we follow pattern, we should be looking at George Ortega, Jorge Ontiveros, playing Hayden Dean, Obi Ontiveros, and Marcus Trujillo as the starting five. Think we're going to miss anything there? Or?
No, I think you're right. We want to shout out to those sponsors, Parker Energy, Brett and Penny Parker. They're here in the house today. Eunice Pump and Supply, Becky Nogelmeyer and staff. Eunice Health Clinic, Leanne Reeves, Elma Romero, Nikki Blevins, Brian Henning. I'm sure I'm missing several. There's a whole gang of them that work down there helping to keep folks like me healthy. The City of Eunice, Eunice Public Schools, Zia Auto and the Whitmire family, Cardinal Hardware, Ashley Davis, Chris Myers, and staff. Thank you guys for all you do and for helping us to be able to bring this entertaining broadcast back to all the folks in Cardinal country.
All right, we're about ready, and we said because of the COVID, there is no tip-off, so the Cardinals will just inbound the ball. Tricera is going to hand it over to Dean, and Dean brings it across the line. And Dean looked to be driving the baseline, but he got kind of tied up there. He goes out to Ontiveros, back to Dean. Dean looks at a three-pointer from the corner and way over, but Tricero is back there for the rebound, and Tricero is fouled on his first attempt, so he's going to go to the line. And we're going to find out who the and I think that was number 1, but I don't see a 1 out there. Maybe 11.
Yeah, I'm not sure. 7:45 here, so just about 15. Oh, no, not 15. Anyway, just a few seconds went off the clock, and Tricero goes to the line, and he drains the first one. I mean, that was a nice-looking shot right there. Looked reminiscent of someone like Ray Allen with that stroke that he put on it there. Let's see if he can put 2 of those together.
All right.
And he
does. Get the lead, and so here comes the Coyotes on their first possession tonight. And the Cardinals are in the full-court press. And they get pulled out. This is number 4. He pulls the shot up, and his just gets a good roll and in. And it's 2-all as the fast break for the Dean goes over to Ontiveros, Jorge Ontiveros, and his shot is up and no good. And the rebound looks like it's off to Tricera. He goes over to Ontiveros to Dean. Dean from the top of the three-pointer. His shot is no good. And Obi gets that ball, and he drops it in, and his is no good. And Dean's got it out there on the corner. Dean looks to drive in. he goes over to Tresera. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was Jorge Ontiveros. And he gives it to Obi, and Obi pops it in.
Yeah, Obi with a nice finish right there to give Eunice the 4-2 lead here early in the first.
What I really liked was about 6 rebounds there by the Cardinals.
Obi
and
with
a
a
great
nice
Obi
block.
just had a great block without hitting him from behind. That's awesome. 3-pointer there, no good. Obi has the rebound, and he's going to pass it off to Dean, and it's going to be out of bounds for the Cardinals.
Yeah, Ovi with a real nice block there after scoring on this other end. He had a nice rebound there, but he almost threw it away. Got to be smart with that ball.
All right, so now Tatum has gone to the press. And they throw it over to Jorge Ontiveros, and he drives down on thing and scores.
Nice finish there by Jorge Ontiveros at the rim.
What a great lead and drive for him.
He got up, too. He showed us those hops on that one.
Yep. All right, they go him down court here and that. Obi's a 2-on-1, and nobody's out there to pick him up, but he goes in, and he's going to get a 3-pointer, so I think Obi's going to be called on a foul there, too.
Yeah, I don't know who they called, but looks like number 4. I don't know who number 4 is. Do we have a number 4?
We don't have a 4 playing out there.
That's what that thing says.
And he makes it. I hope he was the only one in the area, so I'm gonna give it to him right now. All right. Goes down here. Obi comes in. Nothing for him there, so he drives out. He goes to they're going to say it was off of Jorge Ontiveros there, and so it's now they're going to say it was knocked out of bounds by the Coyotes. All right, Jorge comes up, and he is hacked there, but no call, and doesn't matter as the rebound is by the Coyotes, but he dribbles it out of bounds by the Mendoza. So he gets the rebound, but dribbles it out of bounds. All right. Obi's trying to have the ball bounce away, and he gets the shot up again, and this time is no good. Dean gets the rebound. Dean pulls up. His shot is no good. And Tresera, now Obi again. And so Obi is going to be fouled that time, as he had 3 attempts underneath there. Didn't make any of them, but at least he's going to go to the free throw line.
Yeah, it's looking rough down there at that basket.
Well, that was it. A lot of the good thing is the Cardinals are getting a lot of 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 67 chances. They just need to start converting.
I would say Eunice definitely has the size advantage here, but Tatum's got some leapers. Those kids are getting up off the floor. Ovi Ontiveros drains the first free throw. Eunice now leads 7-5 with 6:17 remaining here in the first.
And second one, and the rebound is off to the Cardinals again. There's Dean's shot. Dean is no good. 5 red. So George Ortega just got called for a foul there, away from the ball. That's something we did not see in the girls' game, was fouls being called away from the ball.
Yeah, so that's 7-5 with 6 minutes remaining here in the first.
He drives down underneath. There's nothing there. He passes the ball off to number 25. That's to Kruger. Kruger's shot is no good. And it stays 7-5 as Tresera's bringing the ball down. He goes over to Dean. Dean comes over here to Ortega. Ortega's shot is no good. And Dean gets the charge.
Yeah, he's been standing down there. I mean, he was one of the first people back, so he was back. The young man from Tatum, I think, tried to go around him, but Dean kept position. That'll be a turnover.
4 or 25 on that one. I think it was 25 that did that one, so I'm going to keep foul there. So Dean did a great job there of maintaining his position. Jorge Ontiveros goes over to Dean. Dean's looking to drive around. He goes into Obi. Obi goes up, and his shot is blocked. Obi gets the rebound. He goes back up again, and his shot, he misses his shot again. So Obi's getting a lot of opportunities, but he's not getting that roll yet.
Yeah, nice post move there by him, but just didn't finish.
And that number 4 just comes right up there. Nice layup and in, and right over Obi, which was a great shot. Dean pulls up, and he misses it and gets nothing.